This is Fight Fans Radio.
Cageside Live. My name is Matthew Roth. You can reach me on Twitter at Matt Roth 512. I am joined by Geno the General Mrosko. You can reach him on Twitter at Cageside Seats, at Sean at SRude1 Rueter. Welcome to another edition to Cageside Live. You can reach us if you want to call in and complain about how I don't know shit about pro wrestling or anything else we're going to talk about on the show. You can call in. The number is 410-988-6525. Don't call in right away. At least let us start talking first. But, gentlemen, nice to be back for a second episode. We didn't get pulled.
We did not get pulled.
Oh, shit. I think the tagline for the show ought to be "Don't stop him, he's on a roll."
Yeah, no shit.
If anybody really wants to get in touch with me on Twitter, just hit me up in the comments. I'll let you know what my actual name is and what my handle is. I don't know what the hell Roth just said.
No, but it's
S1 Rueter 1S.
I was totally right. Don't even fuck with that, man.
You're right.
I know your tweets. I know your.
Why did we make your name? Why didn't we do something with your name on the site, Sean? Instead of like Sean Rueter, make you like Ravishing.
I know. I was sort of told. I was encouraged to go with like a real sounding name. Back, I don't know. Were you going for journalistic integrity at that point or something?
Is that
I don't
not
know.
your actual name?
No, that is my actual name. I'm out there. I'm 100%. I would make up something better.
I was encouraged to go with a real sounding name, so I went with my real fucking name.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember I was pissed when Jolie got to keep Jolie Madchen because that, you know.
Well, it sounds like a decent enough name. I mean, I suppose you could. I don't know. You could change it back, I guess.
No, it's fine. It's over. It's ruined.
It was. Right. Yeah. I don't even know why that was happening. Do I sound better, everybody?
I don't know why you put me on the masthead. So
I don't know why I gave you a fucking job. Do I sound better, everybody? I got my new headset. After I listened to like 2 minutes of the other one and realized I sounded like absolute fucking like I was in a fucking tunnel.
Tell him he's your favorite, everybody. You really hurt his feelings last week.
I know. Yeah. I felt so bad. I didn't sound as good as everybody else, and no one was fucking jerking me off.
I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, they have to because you would just ban them. But like, you sounded like you were in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, I really did. It was terrible. Do I sound better though? Honestly?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. So, everybody, this is the second, or if you want to, I don't know, historically speaking, but let's say of the current iteration, the second episode of Cageside Live. Guys, I love being back.
This is the second time you've interrupted me from watching copious amounts of internet porn, so let's get the show on the road.
That's what I'm saying, man. X videos has to wait.
Goddamn.
All right, so it's kind of been a decent week in pro wrestling. The first thing which I believe we all want to talk about is the Undertaker streak. Shawn Michaels said that he shouldn't retire with the streak broken. He should retire with the streak as is, undefeated. Geno, take the floor. What do you think? Do you think the dead man should retire undefeated, or should he put somebody over?
We brought this up last week and kind of touched on it a little bit, but we'll expand on it here because it's become a topic of interest now that we're getting closer to WrestleMania. And Sean did say that he thinks the streak should stay intact. And he said something dumb like, you can't call it a streak if there's a 1 in the loss column, which is like, no, that's not how streaks work, Sean. And like, they didn't, like, Cal Ripken's streak of consecutive games started, like, people just, it wasn't a streak, though, because, like, he didn't play that one game. So, like, that's not how it works. And last week, I said, if you think that it shouldn't be broken, then you're a mark. And I guess Shawn Michaels is a fucking mark, because he's got a vested interest in not seeing it broken, because, he's he tried it twice and lost. But and it's a weird thing too, because we're talking about somebody in the comments when this came up a couple times on the site the past week, they called it an accomplishment. And that's kind of an interesting thing to say about anything related to pro wrestling, because how do you define an accomplishment in a worked environment? Like, The Undertaker didn't actually beat 21 guys in a row. He was scripted to win 21 matches. And there's a certain level of accomplishment that comes with that, i.e., he's good enough that they put him in that position, and he continues to be good enough that he has all these great matches from that position, and he's got enough respect that they're not going to fuck with that. But is it an accomplishment in the sense that, like, you don't take it away because it might, harm his legacy? I don't see that. I really don't. The streak only means something as long as it can make money. Like, that's what this is. Like, this business is about nothing else than money. Like, it's just that's all there is to it, and you can't make money on it if he's not still wrestling. So if he's going to be back next year, then don't break it. If next year comes and he goes, look, this is my last one, then everything about WWE programming from the moment they know that he's going to retire should be all about him. And then he should lose on the way out, because you can't make money. People are saying, you can't sell DVDs, after. First of all, the network is going to make DVDs damn near irrelevant. Second of all, yes, you fucking can. Like, he doesn't need to be undefeated to sell a DVD. He said, well, you can't sell, the streak as like this big thing. Yes, you can. He still won 21 in a row before he lost. And they go, well, the other argument is, well, what about the guy who beats it? Do you trust them to, like, make him a big enough deal because of it? That's irrelevant. That part doesn't matter. It has to happen. Like, that's all there's. It has to happen. What comes after it does not matter.
I'd go ahead and agree with that. I think it also depends who beats the streak. I mean, there needs to be a bit of an upside to the person. So, like, somebody like Daniel Bryan, there's upside. Somebody like Roman Reigns, there's upside, or at least like a future upside to them. Like somebody like Sheamus, a hell of a worker. Him beating the streak wouldn't make a difference. Brock Lesnar, if he beats the streak this summer, that doesn't do anything for him. But like a guy like Daniel Bryan, if not Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns is the person who beats the streak or breaks the streak, to me, that would be a main man in the business, and you could actually sell him as the one who is able to overcome all the obstacles, and beat the dead man, and was the one who put him to sleep, for good. That would make him like a main man in this industry.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I mean, a couple of years ago, I would have said no, don't break it, but that was not. Well, it might have been because I was more of a mark then, but it was also just because there was nobody there to do it. I mean, I don't think at that point. I mean, I don't even know. Go back pre the Shield and who were like the hot up and coming. I mean, you're gonna have Chris Masters do it or some shit.
Right.
So now there's a whole. I mean, thanks to developmental or whatever, there's a bunch of guys that are positioned that can do it. So it makes sense, and you should do it. But I mean, I do think as people who look at who take in the behind the scenes of wrestling, it is an accomplishment because he's been that good and made that much money for that long. And he was that good, before people even realized there was a streak. They were just, we'll have him win because people love it when he wins and we make money. So, yeah, kind of. I mean, if you look at the overall job of being a pro wrestler as a game, then he's won at that. But, no, I mean, absolutely. I was making this argument last year. I mean, 20-0 is still a streak. I mean, you don't say that Joe DiMaggio didn't have a streak because one game he didn't get a hit eventually. I mean, and you still market it that way, and I don't trust them to do the right thing with the next guy, but I think that's why Reigns is the most appealing to me because I don't think they can fuck him up. at this point. They've built him well enough to where he is, and the skills he has, the look he has, the way he can go. As long as he doesn't like lose the ability to actually speak at all, and they might even be able to work around that. But I mean, I think he's got it. They can't really fuck him up. They'll do some horrible stuff with him that we'll make fun of and cry about, but I don't think they can tank him.
Now, do you feel that Roman Reigns is that there hasn't been somebody in the WWE or in pro wrestling that has been as well protected and placed so strategically since maybe John Cena when he was the blue chip prospect?
Lesnar in his first run.
Yeah.
Brock beat the shit out of everybody. I mean, they had him, they were, put it like this. When they had Ryback coming up, and Ryback got over this way, actually, beating the shit out of local athletes, they call them, obviously just jobbers. Guys with the coolest names in history, obviously, Benny Kamer and Stan Stansky fucking live forever. But when Brock was coming up, he was doing the same thing, but he was doing it to the Hardy Boys. And they were hitting him with fucking chairs. And, he was just walking through it and giving both of them a power bomb at the same time and then picking them both back up at the same time and giving them another 2 or 3 power bombs. He was so, they put him over in a way I will probably never see again. Until now, Reigns, I think, has lost once. I think they pinned him at one point. I think they realized very soon after how much of a mistake it was because they haven't – he literally, think of this. John Cena put the STF on him, and he powered out of it. Mm-hmm. There was a point, it was when it was obvious that that's what was happening, and then the Wyatts interfered in the match. But they let him do that. And I think everyone watching was holy fucking, this is how big of a deal they think this guy is and can be. To go back to the Undertaker, though, the good news is. I think he's going to do the right thing because there was a point, I believe, and Keith, I know you're listening and you're in the thread right now. You can correct me on this. I'm pretty sure he wanted to lose to Randy Orton. I'm pretty sure that was going to be the plan at one point, and then they changed it. And then since then, the streak has become this really grandiose thing where it's it's become, Shawn Michaels ruined it for everybody else because he set a bar that's so I was actually watching videos on this the other day. I rewatched WrestleMania 25, Michaels and Undertaker. It's never going to get better than that. It's just not. But then they went out WrestleMania 26 and the 2 matches that are as close to perfect as you can get. Now it's you can't do anything less than that. It's the very idea of Roman Reigns versus Undertaker is going to offend some people because Reigns has to be positioned in a certain place for a long enough time that people buy that. Because he went Michaels, Triple H, and then Punk, right?
Yep.
That's a murderer's row. There was one point when, Mark Henry was in there, but
well, but couldn't you do? I mean, if you continue to build Reigns the way they've been building him, and you give Taker Lesnar this year and Rock next year, Reigns will be ready.
No. Why would you do that?
Why
not? Why would you give
give
him the Rock next year? First of all, I fucking hate that they're going to have him against Lesnar this year.
Well, I do too. I mean, there's no suspense to that for me at all.
That's the thing about it. Is the streak that's the only value Undertaker has to WWE at this point is the streak. And the only value the streak itself has as a match is whether or not you and I can believe that it might be broken. Do you believe even a little, 0.0000001% chance that Lesnar will break the streak?
Oh no, not at all. I think I said it in the thread somewhere that I'll bet every cent I'll ever earn in my life on Undertaker in that match, and I would do it against The Rock too. But I think there's still, this is where we get stuck in our bubble, though. There are still people who are like, "Ooh, goddamn, I want to see Undertaker and Lesnar fight," or "Ooh, goddamn, I want to see Undertaker and Rock fight." We're not in that category, but those people do exist.
I mean, I guess, but I hate it.
And it's a good way to kill time until Reigns is ready.
I think Brock will protect him. I think he'll take care of him in the match, but it's such a scary idea to have the fucking, untamed fucking monster Brock in there throwing around Undertaker, who is just about as brittle as can be right now. That dude gets hurt every time he wrestles.
Well,
and he's good for
night, yeah.
Yeah, it's good for once, twice a year, maybe. Like he was going to do SummerSlam, and then he couldn't. Because Shield fucked Triple Power, brought him through the table, and they fucked up his shoulder. And he's been gone ever since. Like he's, you know what I mean? He's like, look at this. He's not even coming back until the 24th.
Right.
A month. It gives him basically a month and a week of build to WrestleMania. Then he disappears again. Like he's not good for a lot. So to think that he could make 2 more WrestleManias and you'd use those on Lesnar and The Rock, and yeah, they might sell, but I don't know that he can make it that far.
Wait. Time out for 1 second. Is The Rock actually a plan, or is that something that you guys?
No, that's me. That's because I think he's going to come back next year from a few things that I've read, and I think. Well, they might do Rock Brock, I guess, but I'm just saying, as somebody who
originally for this year,
who wouldn't push Taker to. I mean, I would. You know, that wouldn't be much of a match to watch. I don't know. I'm a rock mark, so just move on. Just leave me alone. I'll sit over here and fantasy book Tooth Fairy 2.
What if that had happened though? Because if you remember, it was supposed to be Rock versus Brock Lesnar. And then
that was even the setup for Brock walking through the offices, right? Was he stopped at the Rock poster and like growled at it or whatever before they went and trashed Triple H's office?
Yeah. They had that kind of.
I mean, they were planting that seed. You know, that was their attempt at long-term booking. I guess that's why they never do it any other fucking time.
I mean, just from my perspective, I mean, if we're going to get the Rock involved, and if he's talking about getting involved next year again, why not do Rock versus Roman Reigns and kind of get put over by the most electrifying famous man in the business ever?
True. And his cousin, yeah.
And his cousin. I mean, if you want to talk about heir apparent to The Rock, that's the best way to do it. And like that would to me there's at least as a fan of pro wrestling since I was a little kid, there's always that made man in the business that's been really well protected and put over by the star of the business. We had Goldberg in WCW. That was like the first time that I could really remember going back that one person that was so well protected. That was Goldberg, and then you had John Cena was super well protected. And I think we're seeing that current iteration of that is Roman Reigns. And I think that The Rock, that would be hey, look, he is the heir apparent. You guys are already trying to position him as the next me anyway, with
You're right.
What he said to Renee Young, what was it? Hey, baby?
Baby girl.
Baby girl. Like, that dude is smooth.
Yeah.
He made my panties wet.
Right? He dropped all the panties.
Yeah, he's like, baby girl. And like had that smile on his face, and it was like, holy shit, Roman.
Like that was.
You can take my reins anytime.
But like that shit that like, remember when The Rock used to yeah.
Sean, I'm a little uncomfortable with that little moan right there.
Sorry.
It got out of hand. What I said was okay, but that noise I'm a little uncomfortable.
Well, and here's your big question. Was that Roman Reigns making me make that noise or Geno Mrosko?
I don't know.
But
here's another question though, because I've redid my fantasy booking in my head. Forget Rock Taker next year, because here's somebody. What do you guys think about this guy who hasn't had a streak match and would actually create some suspense because a fucking million smarks would kill themselves thinking he would be the guy to go over the streak? What do you think about Cena next year?
I think that would probably be a good thing, especially because you could still position it as the main event, whether it's going to be the main event or not.
It'd have to be.
It does it could take precedent over the world title match.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I would believe it. Like as a fan of WWE, I would believe that John Cena is the guy who to take the streak, considering that he's what is he, like a 38-time world champion at this point?
I would 100%. I actually was championing that cause for a while. I still in a way feel like they should do it, but again, you're running out of time. Like it's once a year. Undertaker's really old, and all of this is coming. We haven't even talked about Sting. If Sting comes in and where's he gonna fit in? And you don't like that?
I don't like Stings.
You don't like Sting? Fuck you.
I mean,
you know what?
All right. He's fine. I was never the biggest WCW guy. I don't know if you know this about me. There'll probably be a new person on the podcast next week. Everybody.
Here we go.
Certainly not now. I don't talk about wasting an Undertaker match. I watched.
Fuck you.
I've watched Sting matches in TNA for the last couple of years. The dude can't even sit into a block.
No. You know what? He's right. Sting. If it was Sting maybe 3 years ago,
Sure,
I'd be okay with it.
Oh,
but
man,
but the Sting that's wrestling in a T-shirt and can barely do a stinger splash without getting a fucking hernia and breaking his hip. I don't want to see that dude.
Okay. Ric Flair, wrestled with his shirt on in the last episode of Night. I'm hot now. Okay. Ric Flair wrestled with his shirt on the last show. Hang on. And because he said he was embarrassed with the way he looked because he didn't give a shit anymore because it was beaten out of him. Okay? That is Sting in TNA. He can't give a shit because it's impossible to give a shit. But despite the way they booked him into the ground, wrestling in front of house shows of about 45 people who only got there because they basically set it up to say, if you come here, if you're a lady, we'll let you fuck James Storm, and if you're a dude, you can rub on the knockouts' asses. Like, that's the only way they could draw crowds. Like, no one gives a shit about TNA. TNA sucks, and the talent know it. Everyone in the fucking at the executive level, Dixie knows it. Okay, it's her fucking plaything, and Sting knows it. But it's an easy paycheck, keeps him in there. All this time, I'll get to WWE eventually. Okay, I bring up Flair because he goes to WWE, and they book him. They bring him in, whatever, put him with Vince. They don't have him wrestling, whatever. But eventually it's realized he can still go. He looks like shit, sure, but he can get back in shape, which he did. And then had an awesome fucking match with Triple H. So much so, it was booked into the story that I don't know if I can do this. And he's fucking crying backstage, and he's, you know how Ric Flair is. And Shawn Michaels is like, I know you can do it, man. I know you're good enough. Goes out, has an awesome match with Triple H. Actually has a feud with Shawn Michaels. Bad Blood 2003 has a fucking awesome match with Shawn Michaels. Granted, it's Shawn Michaels. But it shows. If you care, then you can put together a good match. Sting is not nearly as bad as any of us think he is. We just think he's shit because he's been wasting away in an awful fucking promotion, doing the fucking worst angles, cutting shit promos because he knows no one's listening, because nobody gives a shit, because it's fucking TNA. And you're wrestling in front of people who didn't pay any money to get into the fucking building. Like, of course he doesn't fucking care. Why would he care? Now, hey, Stinger, you get to fucking have a match with Undertaker. You get to have a WrestleMania moment. There's going to be 70,000 motherfuckers in the building. You think he's going to show up out of shape? Well, he might. He's kind of, either way, you think he's going to show, I just thought of Starrcade and was like, oh shit, yeah, he can't, back then he had some drug problems, whatever. You think he's going to show up and just have, a shit match with Undertaker, who's basically incapable of having a bad match at this point, and go, I sucked in TNA for the past few years. I don't care enough to not bring my A game for that moment. You think he wouldn't come to that match and go, you know what? I better be on it because I can't fuck up here.
Here's a question, and this isn't me being a troll or being an asshole. Was Sting ever that good?
Thank you.
No, Sting was never. Well, what's that good though? Sting had some really good matches earlier in his career. And he and Ric Flair did a lot of good stuff. But again, he's always been trapped in the confines of bullshit. Like he was running angles with fucking RoboCop in WCW, working with, oh my God, I just can't right now. And then, in the 90s and shit with the NWO, and they didn't have they weren't putting him with programs with Chris Jericho. He's working with fucking Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash. And Scott Hall, who was so drunk, they were doing angles just so he could drink on TV. Like, what's he supposed to do?
Hey, wait, time out. Don't you talk shit about fucking RoboCop. That dude took me to the finals of the Cageside seat fucking draft. So fuck you. RoboCop got me to the finals.
Fuck RoboCop. Fuck that Survivor Series fantasy draft. Fuck all that.
No, but we've been hearing this a lot, though, man. That, I don't want to see Sting versus Undertaker. It's not going to be a very good match. It's like, first of all, the build alone, the video packages alone, it's a story. Like I said, I care about wrestling for the stories. Like the matches, I want the matches to be good. People brought up CM Punk, how, he never had a chance in hell of beating the streak. And we all knew that. Yeah, we watched it, and they had a 4.5-star match. It was the best match of the card, maybe the best match of the year. You're not complaining about that? No, I'm certainly not. And I know Sting wouldn't beat the streak. But that's not necessarily the value. It's not each guy has to. Value isn't assigned in terms of whether or not they can beat the streak. I mean, I know I said that that's where the value is, and that's the only value Undertaker has. And I guess I'm going against my own argument now because with certain guys,
Stigmark.
Well, with certain guys, well,
I didn't know I was talking to Anthony Pace. This is weird.
Hey, dude, he was so fucking professional. That sinking ship of fucking garbage and bullshit, and like he was just doing his job. He was doing the best.
Oh, yeah, I got nothing bad to say about the dude. My problem with that with your argument though is that I don't think you're comparing apples to apples. I mean, you're talking about I would rather watch Flair with his shirt on at the end of WCW than Sting in his surfer gimmick. I mean, in terms of like a guy that can actually, somebody needs to carry Undertaker to a match. He can't go, like you said. I mean, not carry, but he needs a partner. He doesn't need another guy who's as banged up and limited as he is.
Again, you can do when you get in there and the adrenaline's pumping and there's 70,000 people and they care about the story because you made them care because you booked a good angle.
All right, well, how are you booking this angle? Because that's what I don't trust WWE to book that angle.
I did a whole
I'm
post
worried
on
he's good.
this. I did a whole post. He let him beat Lesnar. And then and while he's celebrating, cut to the fucking rafters, and there's Sting hanging out. Well, maybe not the rafters because of the Owen stuff, but somewhere there's Sting hanging out with a fucking crow on his shoulder, and the crow gimmick, and everyone's like, oh shit, and he's got the baseball bat, and he points it at Undertaker. I go, you got a year. Get in shape. Get your shit together. And then throughout the year, periodically, just like he did in 97, recreate 1997. And I know, blah, blah, but the shelf life for recreating angles is about 7 years or so.
You're right,
and
yeah. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, we can completely forget anything he did in TNA because no one was watching that. And this is what you do. You spend the whole year. Undertaker periodically shows up, doesn't have to wrestle, come out, cut a promo, come out for some other it doesn't matter what he's there for. Just have him show up, have Sting show up, and just the slow build where they never touch, they never do anything, and it's a match we've all been wanting anyway. Like it's a match everyone, like that's what you have to do. There's no other option. If they bring Sting in, that's what needs to happen. And like, if you're worried about match quality, like how many people care about stuff like that? Like you say, we're more than cats.
But you also just said that like Shawn Michaels had fucked it for everybody because you have to have a 5-star match with him now. I mean, it's not gonna look good, dude.
He fucked it up for everybody because of the 5-star match, but also because of the level of competition. Relative to when I said that, I was meaning like, how are we going to buy Reigns in that role? With that discussion was, can we put Reigns in there if it's been Hall of Famer, 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 and now Roman Reigns, like mid card, like a kind of a mid card guy who's just about to break into the main event. Like you can't have him break into the main event with beating the streak. That would be terrible.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why 2 years down the road, he's already probably a title run by that point. I mean. I'm not talking about booking Reigns now.
Having him beat The Rock would be a good idea, and then it's what?
Yeah, I agree. You guys talked me into that one. I'm not.
Stop shitting on Sting. It's a good idea.
Here's what I would do.
It is a good idea, but I'm not going to be crazy about that match.
Here's the thing about
my
Sting.
personal bias.
Here's the thing about Sting. If you're going to bring Sting back for a WrestleMania match, I want to see him tag team with the Ultimate Warrior and just do them with the Blade Runner Rock, Blade Runner, whatever his other name was.
Like it was 1S Rude at
whatever, man. Dude, nobody cares about your Twitter anyway. You're not funny.
It's true. I'm not. I think I have 7 followers.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
You're up from last week.
I know.
You never tweet.
Most of them from this show. I know I don't. I'm too busy writing for goddamn Cageside seats.
Yeah, right. No, you're not. I know that ain't true.
Now I'm fired because I'm not a WCW fan. I know.
All right, so
it's got nothing to do with WCW.
All right, so we got another pay-per-view coming up. Elimination Chamber, 6-man in one chamber. What's going to happen if they pull Daniel Bryan, guys?
Sean
Chamber. So who are they going to plug in?
Yeah, what's going to happen if they pull Daniel Bryan from the match
for the Kane match?
Yeah.
I think Randy Orton will still win. I don't think it really. I mean, I think I read it somewhere, or I had a dream. I don't know. I watched this stupid video with RVD driving around outside of the Staples Center. I think you could have him come back and plug him in pretty quickly. People like that, and he could do jump off the top of a pod. And
can people stop with this idea that people would riot at the Target Center if Bryan's not in the match. Like, oh,
he's not winning anyway. So
they'll
what?
tear the cage down. Like, yeah, like what do you expect to happen if he actually is in it? He's gonna have to lose. Like, he's going to have to get pinned. If you pull him out and have him beat the shit out of Kane, at least he wins. I mean, at the Rumble, he jobbed to Bray. So they were pissed because he jobbed, but they were like, okay, it's a really good match. And then he didn't get into the Rumble. I mean, he was never scheduled for it. That was kind of a goofy, really odd situation to begin with. Like, he was never scheduled for it. And it was crazy because at one point he was favored like 2 hours before the show to win a match he was never going to be in. Like, that's how nuts it's been with Bryan. But that's not a consistent thing. Like, he goes to one arena, and it's like the yes chants are there, and, like, people care, and it's obvious. But not, like, at the level of, like, a show like the Rumble. And, like, in Pittsburgh, for whatever reason, that's how it was. I don't know that it's going to be that way in shitty-ass Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Well, and I still think if you just have Bryan come out and cut a promo, he can do it on Raw, he could do it early on in the night on that show, that he realizes he's never going to get a fair shot at the title until he deals with the Authority, and he's starting with Kane, and then he's coming for Triple H. Then nobody gives a shit. Then you're invested in that story.
And he doesn't have to lose.
Right. Unless Triple H pins him at WrestleMania. Which
is probably going to happen.
Do you think that happens?
That was the plan at one point. I don't know if that's the plan
I think
now.
they have to know now that they can't do that.
It's funny because WWE.com put that today, yeah, and the dream match to their eyes is Orton versus Triple H versus Daniel Bryan with the WWE World Heavyweight title on the line in the main event. And I was like, you know what? This was a silly thing to suggest because this is a way better idea than whatever they're getting ready to do. They should do that. They should totally put it together with Bryan going, you know what? The only way to vanquish my demons, which has been what this entire story since SummerSlam, both at the same time. And how much more meaningful would it be if he did it like that? Beat them both at the same time, won the title, and they closed WrestleMania with everyone going nuts with Daniel Bryan doing the yes chant.
And they could actually pretend that they booked that 10-month story when we know they did.
No, dude, it's been going on for 2 years. This has all been a
true.
plan.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Of course, it's very aces and eights.
And the fucking wait and see crowd would get like, oh, we're vindicated. No, you're not. Shut your fucking mouth. Absolutely, you're not. Like, that's not how this happened. We all know. Like, they still don't know. Like, the last word was they're literally gauging reaction. Like, each new place they go, they're like, well, let's see how it is here. And depending on how things go, maybe we do this. Like, I don't know if it's ever been this close to WrestleMania and they havenlike really nailed down everything they're going to do. Like, we still don't really know. Like, they're talking about
anything they're going to do.
They're talking about Cena versus Bray Wyatt, but they
totally dropped that story. Exactly, they dropped it.
Yeah. And then
it was there at the Rumble, and then it was there the night after, and then they've both gone there. Well, I don't know what Cena's doing. I guess he was nursing his eye injury, but Wyatt's off doing something entirely different. It doesn't segue into Cena at all. Well, it is the greatest fucking thing ever, but it doesn't segue into Cena.
No, not really. We'll see how they do it, but that's man. Of all the booking they've had, they fucked everything up except the Shield and the Wyatt family.
Don't you fucking jinx it.
That man. Oh man.
Do you think? Well, let me ask you guys. Do you guys think that do you think that this was a plan? That this is how it came about? That they knew all along they were going to get here, or they just sort of stumbled into it and it happens to work?
I think they stumbled into it, man.
I agree.
Just everything in general. I mean, here's the thing. And yesterday, you guys had the "Hello, my name is" the evaluation for WWE Creative. I think WWE Creative, as a writing department, isn't really awful. I think their big problem is they have to deal with a lot of bullshit politics. Mm-hmm. And kind of then transitioning a little bit, like Triple H, he's done a lot for talent development. The training center, they've gone out and signed the best talent on the indies, like legitimate real talent, but he's still putting over his friends. And so like, he's not thinking like a businessman. He's thinking like a quote unquote business man. And so I think that's the big problem is that the creative, they're being hampered because on a week-to-week basis, if Triple H, you're not shaking his hand before you enter the arena, he may say, "Hey, I don't want this match anymore. I want you to do this with my friends now." And so I think that the creative, they had a lot of really good ideas. Like Bray Wyatt versus John Cena, that could have been awesome. Because we got to see Bray Wyatt go 25 minutes with Daniel Bryan, and John Cena is a really reliable worker when he's given the right partner.
Whoever booked the Shield Wyatt Family segment on Raw this past week
was a genius.
I want to personally fillet that person. Like, I want to get down on my hands and knees and service them sexually. Because they made me feel that damn good.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, they have the talent to write it, and when they're given
how perfect was that? Oh my God! Like,
that's what
my favorite part of that was how they had. I mean, they're yeah, it's heel versus heel, but they are sort of playing with the Shield as faces, and they're definitely playing with Reigns as face because he was the one that stepped in. And then the other guys in the Shield followed him, and then Bray teased and did the full heel move, which is to bail. And that crowd wasn't sure who to boo, but when Bray bailed, then they knew. I
love that the crowd reacted the way they did. And again, I can't fucking get over how good this was. Like, I had to watch that video 15 times that night. Like, as they're getting ready to leave, and then the Wyatt stuff hits, and they come down to the ramp and they stop. Like, just still a ways enough from the ring. And then they're just staring right where the fucking Shield stopped. And then there's this stare down, like, who's going to budge? And, like, already you're on the right path. They've both been booked really strong. Mm-hmm. So the Wyatts have looked good this whole time, and the Shield have always looked like badasses. They took everybody out. They bloodied up The Rock hard way. They fucking took Undertaker out. They beat everybody. John Cena. It doesn't matter. Every fucking motherfucker on the card, they've beat them. In main events of pay-per-views, in main events of Raw and SmackDown, all of it. So and Bray now had the fucking amazing match with
D-Bray.
With Bryan at the Rumble, and then earlier that night, he fucking killed Rey Mysterio in the middle of the ring.
That was one of the coolest spots I've ever seen.
Oh, best finish I've seen in a long time. But the point is that there was never a better moment for this, and they just again booked it fucking beautifully to sit there and go, oh shit, and the crowd is like responding like, I don't care if they're bad guys, and I don't care if they're bad guys. We know that these are two badass motherfucking teams, and what's gonna happen? Like, they're just perfect. The facial expressions, just the body language, like kind of both standing up tall, like who's going to blink first? And then Reigns, and they did this good too. They clearly established him as the leader, as the king badass. So he fucking jumps the rail, and like the other two follow. They're like, and then they go up to the ring, and then everyone's like explodes in glee, like, oh, what's going to happen? Oh man, are the Wyatts going to respond? And then they do by getting up to the ring. And then you have that fucking awesome visual of three guys on the outside of the ring. And then again, Reigns decides to go up on the apron. And another awesome, brilliant move, Bray taps both of his guys on the shoulder and goes up. Like, as clearly establishing him as, and you don't need to at this point because we know better, but like, it's such a fucking badass move, like up. And then the big old monsters go up beside him, and he goes up too. And then, like you said, Sean, Reigns was the guy who decided, okay, I'm going to step in the ring, and the other two follow, and he's like, okay, bring the fucking shit. Like, shit's on, let's do this. And Bray's like, okay, and goes to go in, and he's the heel. So that's the guy you know you're supposed to boo, and they're the guy who are supposed to win, so they establish that at that point, and then he backs off. But then you still get the cool visuals of the Shield in the ring, and they're standing tall again because we want them to look better later on. But then the Wyatts are back. Like, God damn, I can't get over how great that was. That was pro wrestling at its best. That is why I put up with fucking Axana. Like, that's why I put up with all the bullshit in pro wrestling. It was so great.
I also enjoy the fact that we're able to see an evolution in a lot of these groups as well. You know, like when the Shield first hit the scene, everybody assumed that Ambrose was the leader. You know, like, and now it's been positioned that maybe he's not so much the leader and it is Roman Reigns. Like, if creative did everything that they do the same way that they've done with the Shield, like WWE, you could make the argument that it would be the Monday Night Wars all over again without an actual competitor.
So Doors, our boy Doors wants to know who we booked to win Shield Wyatts. I know my answer.
Yeah, the Wyatt family. There's no. That's who has to win because the stories they're telling, of course, are that if the Wyatts are going to move on to a Cena feud and Bray faces Cena at WrestleMania, he needs to be obviously as strong as he can possibly be for that, and so he needs to be the one to pin somebody. We'll say Ambrose because the Shield are obviously headed for their breakup, and this will just further the dissension. So this one's too easy, but still, it's just the way it's been built is just so. I'm ready. My body is ready.
Does it have
we
to
already
be
heard.
or...
Your mouth might be ready too.
Like I'm salivating, dude. Like my fucking dick is hard. This is the best feud.
Does it have to be Ambrose though, or do you think it would be pin? Don't
My
protect
hope
them right
is,
now
I think,
and pin Reigns with Ambrose and Rollins walking away.
You don't pin Reigns.
No.
Absolutely not.
Do not pin Reigns. Let him keep looking strong forever.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope that they don't make the Shield breakup factor into the loss too overt. I don't want to see like Ambrose clock Reigns from behind, and that's why Rollins eats the pin or something. I just a little bit of dissension, they lose, and then let the fact that they lost be something they argue over. I don't want it to be like shenanigans that's the only way the Wyatts won. That's my fear.
Yeah. And I think we'll see either the story says Ambrose should take the pin because it's him and Reigns who have been arguing so damn much. And we know Reigns is in for the big push and they think he's the next John Cena and all that stuff. And Rollins is the guy who's like trying to hold it together, but he, at some point he's going to realize that he can't. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. And it's kind of interesting to wonder what they're going to do once Reigns does break away. But Reigns is getting the babyface reactions. Like the crowd knows, like everyone knows that this is the direction they're going and he's the guy and he's got all the mannerisms. He's got, he's the one who's been given the diverse move set. He's the one with really, he's probably the most charismatic of the three, which shocks me. Ambrose is really good. He's really unique. He's really interesting, but he's not. He's Jake Roberts. He's Rick Rude. He's mid card. He's awesome as hell, but he's mid card awesome. He's not like you could put him in a main event and sell some pay per views, but he's not Reigns. Like Reigns is it. Reigns has it.
So he's not. Ambrose isn't Roddy Piper because that's the comparison you hear all the time.
No, I don't think so. He's Jake Roberts. And Jake Roberts, I don't think Jake Roberts ever won a title in the WWF.
Nope, he didn't.
Like not one.
I just read that this week. Yeah, nope.
Never. And Ambrose has been U.S. champ for fucking ever. For reasons no one understands.
That means a lot.
I do like that that JBL has started to comment about how he's not actually like a fighting champion. He's never actually defended the belt at all.
Well, lost in the baby girl to Renee Young was Ambrose's perfect little heel answer about how you don't understand the paperwork involved in getting challenged.
That was the best line. You don't understand how much paperwork's involved. That's why I'm not defending it.
And then Reigns had the baby-faced reaction of "Come on, dude." That was all he said. He laughed and said, "Come on, dude."
Hey, come on, bro. Quit being a bitch. Quit being a pussy and get in there and defend it. Like, oh yeah. Like I thought they were gonna be like, well, let's do it, me and you.
I kind of thought when they did the U.S. Championship Challenge, and I still think they should do this somewhere down the road, have him keep doing that, and one night Reigns is the guy that answers the call.
I don't know. Interesting, too, in that WWE.com article about the Dream matches, they had Reigns against Langston for the Intercontinental title.
What's happened with Big E? Really?
Curse of the IC belt.
Two things. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I hate it.
I don't want to hear it. I got to hold on. I got to get it off. I'm just kidding.
News is news. Fucking whatever. The SmackDown that will air Friday, that was taped last night, two things with Langston. Number one, like Antonio Cesaro, who's now just Cesaro, apparently Big E Langston will no longer be Big E Langston. He'll just be Big E. So, like, the Langston's still there, but no one's going to call him that. So, like, on commentary, they'll just say Big E. And there is a fatal four-way on SmackDown to determine the number one contender to his title. Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, and someone else. I don't even remember who. And Jack Swagger wins with the Patriot Act. I'm not calling it the Patriot Lock. Fuck you. With the Patriot Act on Kofi Kingston. So Henry came back to the Black History Month, and he's back, and I guess it figures that it's Black History Month, and they're jobbing him out.
Like his hometown.
Yeah. That's fucking Vince forever mistreating Mark Henry. So, yeah. Jack Swagger versus Big E Langston, everybody.
I mean, like, here's what I understand. Like, all the rumors, and I read the Monday rumor, the morning rumor mill. Like, he was supposed to be positioned as the WWE's new, possibly breaking into an African American market, like their next African American star. What the
Big
fuck?
E?
Like, yeah, like what the fuck happened?
I don't know. Like I kept reading that John Cena is his biggest fan, and it pays to be in good with Cena, as you see with Nikki Bella, and
isn't Cena in good with Nikki Bella? Oh,
hey,
Nice and snug.
nice, short and fat, but it fills the gap.
Nailed it.
No, but yeah, I guess that was the thing, and then Cena came back from. Remember, Cena was Langston was doing really good, and then Cena got hurt, and Langston disappeared, and then Cena came back early, and Langston was suddenly being pushed down our throats, and everyone, was the dirt sheets, supposedly, whatever you want to say, Meltzer and them were like, yeah, it's because of Cena being back that they're buddies, they're besties, but Langston's just been relegated to main event, and I don't understand why.
well,
Then
here's
again,
the problem.
controversial hot take incoming. I don't really care. I don't really care. Big E, you know what? You're not doing much for me. Like you have offensive ring gear, and your tits are too big. Like that's like I don't.
So
know.
that doesn't make your panties wet.
He doesn't.
Not a fan of that ass.
Not that ass. No, yeah. If he has a wardrobe malfunction and calls me baby girl, maybe. But beyond that, I really don't know.
Here's how I would address both of those problems, though. And the dude has never had a character. We could call him. He could have the Twitter championship if Zack Ryder has the internet championship. He's money on Twitter, and we've all read that stuff. And
He doesn't have the Twitter championship.
Oh, I know. Whatever. We'll get.
You're
you can
pissing
talk.
me off, Sean.
I know that's my job. I guess I don't know.
ahead.
Now I'm scared.
I threw you the fuck off.
All right, maybe he's like the Instagram champ, or he does like really good Vines. I don't know. Whatever. He's got personality on there. We've seen, you can see that if you follow him. But they've never given him anything. He's been the guy that stood behind Ziggler. He had some funny facial reactions to stuff that AJ said. And when he turned, I was worried when they turned him and gave him the IC championship because there was nothing to that. Just one day he ran in to save Kofi Kingston or whatever, and we're supposed to cheer him. He doesn't have any. They don't even let him do like physical personality things like the 5 count or anything. He's just all of a sudden he's a good guy that never talks and gets booked into shitty feuds and is on TV on Wednesday nights. Why would anybody care about him? And maybe it is because Cena came back and they said that's my boy, and they said all right, we're going to give him the title and put him higher up the card, but we don't have anything ready for him, so he's just going to fucking die out there.
They forget to do, I think, basic stuff. It kills me when people in writing, like, you have to, as repetitive as it can be and as as boring to read as it is, but you have to cover the who, what, when, where, why, all that shit, right? So like if I'm writing about a match that's taking place at the Elimination Chamber, somewhere in the fucking post it's going to tell you what the event is, the chamber, when it is, Sunday, February 23, 2014, where it is, the Target Center in Minneapolis, all that, whatever. Like, you have to establish all of those things. And WWE doesn't bother to do that with a lot of their fucking talent. Like you said, who is Big E Langston? You know who he is? It's our eyes. He's a big black dude who fucking pops his chest a lot. And he's got white
nice
shit on
ass.
his hands, and he's got a huge ass and some big old titties. Like, that's who he is.
And he
AJ's
doesn't want to be interviewed when he's eating kielbasa.
Yeah. Like, he's wildly
They should do more of that stuff.
everywhere except TV.
Right.
It's a crime. It's a fucking crime. And don't say he's the Twitter champion.
No, that's the big man.
I deleted something.
Not the big man, Roth.
The bad guy? I don't know what his
Big
name is.
guy.
Big guy.
The
Whatever.
big guy.
You're a bunch of marks. You're a bunch of marks.
Ross, you're going to be on the unemployment line with me. You call him the big man again.
All right, Cagesiders, if you do want to call in, I'm going to interrupt the show for 1 second. If you want to call in, tell us so we don't. It's 410-988-6525. Now, we talked about the Shield and how and Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family, how it's been perfectly booked. Let's talk about something that's not been perfectly booked with Emma and Santino.
Okay, motherfucking people who are getting on me in the comments, okay, about why. Oh, well, pairing her with Santino is not Death Guy because, it didn't hurt Beth Phoenix. First of all, Beth Phoenix was a dominant champion before she was ever paired with Santino Marella, okay? That's one thing. Number two, the way they've booked Emma has shown that they have no fucking clue what got her over to start with. And Sean, you can attest to this. She did not get over doing the goofy dances. That's not the thing that got her over. She got over, and then the goofy dances became a nice little part of the routine. People went along with it because they could see that she was adorable and she could fucking wrestle. And then, oh, she's doing this cute little dance. Hee, that's cool. That's our chick doing the dance. Whatever, we'll do it with her. And then the cool music, and it was like an added little bonus to the fact that she's already awesome. You don't bring her to the main roster, put her with the joke character who fucking jobs to everybody, and then go, do your silly dance and everyone's going to love you. Nope, that's not why she got over. That's what I mean. And yes, you abso-fucking-lutely give her the kiss of death when you put her with Santino because you're telling your audience she is a joke character like Santino is a joke character. And she's going to have to climb out of a hole. Does that mean she won't be able to do it? No, it doesn't. I think she's really talented. She'll probably be able to do that. And that's great. I hope she gets the chance. I hope she gets just the fucking chance like we see divas so often do, right? Yeah, because they always get a chance to climb out. They always get a chance to get a bunch of TV time to prove those fucking that stupid shit wrong. Yeah, right. Shut the fuck up trying to call me out.
And here's my because somebody brought it up. I don't know if it was in this thread or if it was in the other one today, but, what?
Tell them.
I'm going to tell them. Everybody loved when she had the mixed tag with Santino on NXT. Yeah, because that was that character. And even in that match, they built up to there were a couple of weeks of vignettes where we got to see Santino and Emma meeting each other. And then they came out and they did a whole fucking 5 minutes on the stage where they tried to do the dance. I mean, it was just they did everything that they didn't do 2 weeks ago. And here's the other problem. Talking about how is Emma going to get over and why this hurts her is like talking about, I don't know, like legalizing drugs or something. Because it's not just that they should have done something different with Emma. It's that they need to fix the entire fucking women's division. Because even if they give her a match right now, there's maybe 2 women she could actually go with where you'd even get a chance to see that she can work. Because what are you going to do? Have Oksana knee her in the face or Brie fall on her tit or whatever? I mean, they got to scrap that fucking thing from the bottom. They just clean it out. I don't know, do something. Because right now, the way that Emma got over in NXT isn't even possible on the WWE stage because there's nobody there. She can come out and there's nothing to plug her into.
Are you not ready for Brie time? Brie mode.
Girl, please. Or what is it? Girl, bye.
Girl, bye. Girl, bye.
Girl, bye. Yeah, Brie mode and girl, bye.
Oh, my God.
You know what? The Divas are a lot better, though. I will say that. I've actually...
They still don't get the time to... There's no stories. There's no... I mean, it's like I wrote that one post before the Rumble about it. There's nothing. It's sort of... I guess it's because Nikki got their feelings hurt, but they can't even tell that. I mean, the phone-it-in story of Total Divas versus non-Total Divas. They can't even bother to tell that story.
You know what I saw on Twitter? And it made me go back.
Big E Lanston, Twitter champion? Is that what you saw on there?
Yep.
No. Mickey James. Someone was talking about Mickey's her V-lick, they called it, from WrestleMania, and they linked to the video. And that was back when they actually gave a shit to give a good story and let it breathe. And they had Mickey James as the crazy chick who was obsessed with Trish Stratus, and they had the match at WrestleMania 22, and at one point in the match, Trish has Mickey in a headlock, and I think she's going to go for that the move she does, the Stratisfaction, I believe. And to get out of this, Mickey takes her arm, swings it in the air, and very fucking just with vigor, just grabs her fucking pussy. Like literally. And like Trish starts bouncing around, whatever, and then like kind of backs off and is like all messed up about it, looks up at Mickey, and Mickey, straight to the crowd, takes her fucking hand and licks all the way up and then in between her 2 middle fingers and then starts smiling and laughing.
Do you remember how long they built to that story, that match? That shit went on for a year. Here's Mickey. Oh, she's into Trish. What's this all about?
Yeah, she's psychotically into this diva that we all
single white female thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and we all love Trish, and it's like, geez, lady, back the fuck off, and it's like an actual story. And cool shit happens like that within the story on a big stage, and it's like, hey, this is interesting.
And then they can go in the ring and back it up.
Yeah, heaven for fucking that happens these days.
I mean, that's something that they've done before too. Didn't they do that with Tori and Sable as well?
Yeah, they've done that a lot. They had AJ doing that for a brief time. Not crazy to other women, but playing the.
But like, you could totally do it. I think part of it is we don't really know what got what her over in NXT. I mean, she worked really good matches, but and her personality got across. But NXT, it's a very, very small audience, and for the most part, the people that are attending live, they're going to every single show. Like they have like season tickets to NXT. Like it's not like, oh, hey, we're going to Columbus tomorrow, and then we're going to Cincinnati, and then we're going to Chicago. It's literally every single week is at the same place. And so it's
they tape a bunch of them in a row. So if she gets over with the crowd, she's over for 4 shows because they taped them. It's the NXT zone basically. It's like 3. I don't even know. Do they pay for tickets or is it all like papered?
It's that college, right?
It's Full Sail. Yeah, I mean, I think some other locals like drive there for it, but yeah, I mean, it's like 500 of hardcore Florida smarks.
It's a nice little focus group.
It's a great focus group, but the thing is like Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas, he's going to get over in NXT and with the Believers and everything. But does that same shit translate
the worst
to
character ever?
No, but people love to hate him. But is that going to get over?
Fun. I mean, he's converted me.
Fucking face.
Well, they're not. It's not going to get over, but they're also never going to give it the time it needs to get over. You see, I mean, look at how they pulled up Xavier Woods. I mean, that's how they think they're going to pull these guys up from NXT. They're going to run them out there in a mid-card match on Raw, and because they're hanging out with R-Truth or whatever, everybody's going to love them.
But
the Dallas character requires like nuance and time and like support. He's never going to get that on the main shows. Maybe with the network if they do it pre-shows and stuff, a slow build. But I don't.
But I think it's with people that they believe in. Like the Wyatt family, there was months of vignettes, or 2 months of vignettes, and it's months. Yeah. But like a guy like who's the Russian that just did
Alexander Rusev.
Rusev, yeah. Like what have we gotten from him? He
hasn't been in NXT that long. He's really hot shot in that dude. It's the people that they believe in. They're putting a lot of time into. The people that they don't, like Emma with the sign at ringside, that could have been something. Like they were showing her on prime time, and then it's like, oh well, fuck it, come on down, yeah.
Yeah, she's adorable, but she's real, and you strip that from her when you just have her do a goofy dance and just go, and they're probably in the back going, well, I don't understand it. Like, why didn't it get over?
Right.
Because like you had her do a dance off and then do the goofy dance where she got blown away by Summer Rae, who's also not a dancer. You go, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Again, you totally misunderstood what got her over in the first. It wasn't the dance. The dance was an added thing that came later.
One aspect of the character, right?
Of the character, yeah. She's adorable, but you can tell right away that she's real, and she's very easy to like. But you have to let her do, and this sounds crazy, what she's supposed to do as a wrestler, which is wrestle. That's nuts to think of. I know. We can't let him do that. Certainly.
Stop talking crazy, Mrosko.
Yeah, let's have her go out there and dance.
I will say this though, and 2-3 years ago at the Elimination Chamber when Santino was like the underdog, and
I love that match.
Like I was the best.
Like here's the thing, and yeah, he's the joke character, but there was a time when like I gave a shit about Santino. Like when he was,
I wanted him to beat Bryan. Like
Bryan was
Daniel Bryan was the champion in that match, and I badly wanted him to put Santino over. They just win it back the next night, like they did like Kane and Stone Cold and back in '98.
Because he was our comedy character. He was our asshole. He was our comedy character, and we wanted it. So I mean, like, I don't think getting stuck with Santino is a death mark, but I think that it kind of in the current iteration of Santino, it doesn't work. But Santino of 3 years ago or 2 years ago,
well,
dude, do it, run with it.
I think even now you could tell a cute story where Santino befriends her and you use that as the opportunity to get her personality across. Not what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah, like if
Santino can still be funny, and like I said, go watch if you ever have time. Go watch the NXT little build up to that mixed tag that they had down there with Fandango and Summer Rae. It was awesome, and it was just little 2-minute backstage. NXT does that all the time, and I don't understand why WWE doesn't. But those little 2-minute backstage things with a wider variety of characters than just the main eventers is what gets those folks over down there. It gives them practice, it gives them time to connect, and WWE just can't. They can't do that on Raw with anybody other than the top 5 to 10 people. I mean,
what they're going to need to do now is they're going to have to do like some sort of segment or some sort of pre-tape or skit or whatever you want to call it, where Santino is like goading her into like the dance, and she's like having to explain to him like, there's a lot more to me than this. And that's what they have to do now. Like, so everyone's like, you know what, there is something more here. And then we can see her actually go out and deliver that, and then have her go out and have a match with somebody and have her squash them. You know, put her out there with Alicia Fox and have her win in a minute and a half.
I was actually going to say Alicia Fox because I mean she's actually probably one of the better workers in the women's division.
Sad but true.
And if you're defending Oksana, Cagesider, I don't remember your name, but you were in the threads trying to defend her to me. Guy, stop it. Stop. He says, yeah. So, you know, it was an accident.
She crawls on the mat really good.
Yeah, she made a mistake. Like, you know, you're like calling for her head like you don't get fired for misspellings. Yeah, idiot. My misspellings don't result in a fractured fucking skull. Like,
there was that
someone
time.
Can't see right now because of what she did. That's not a fucking accident. Like, she probably needs surgery. Like, her fucking eyeball. She exploded her eyeball. Are you kidding? Like, oh, it was an accident. No! Watch the fucking match. Like, she literally looks down and just drops the knee. And even if it is an accident, guys have been buried for a fuck of a lot less. Okay? That's not an accident. And if I misspell a word, it's not going to hurt anybody.
I think the most frustrating part is they were actually looking to push Naomi, it seemed like.
Yeah, she was supposed to win the title at Mania.
She's going to win the title at WrestleMania. And guess what? She can't do that now because Oksana is a fucking dummy.
I mean, she could always wear the same facial shield that got Cody Rhodes over. Bring out a bunch of paper bags.
Well, you know, they think every move that she does should be focused on her ass. So maybe they can do a gimmick where they never take the camera off her ass when she comes out. It's like her blue dot. It's just it's ass cam.
And there's somebody in the comments that says Geno doesn't like a nice ass and big ass titties when they don't realize I hired Sean because he has a nice ass.
And big ass titties.
Titties.
You can ask Jolie or Reverend Kane. They've seen this ass. It is nice.
Yes. Do you hang out with them off site?
No, we went to the first National Pro Wrestling Day together, the three of us, and Master Geek. Yeah,
a Cageside. Like,
it was a little mini meetup.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's a nice little story.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell it later.
Female there
at the whole event, she might have been. Yeah,
you guys made her feel comfortable, right? Like you didn't pull any Roman Reigns.
No. She's awesome. She loves us. You know. Yeah. We didn't know. She was good. She was just one of the guys. You know, just hanging out, watching some indie wrestling.
She'd probably.
You've never seen the picture on Twitter of her with Colt that I took?
Really?
Yeah. It's out. Google that shit. It's out there.
That's awesome.
Sorry, Jolie. I just sent a million lonely men Googling your picture.
A million. If we had numbers like that, we would not be doing this like this.
We'd be in a real studio.
The hundreds and hundreds.
The tens and tens of you.
The ones and ones of the people listening. No, that's never mind. That's untethered.
It's funny. It's funny because I was like, at first I was like, ooh, this could be like a really big thing. And then we did the show, the first one, and I was like, I kind of like still being able to do the crazy shit that we do or say the dumb shit that we say. I don't want to get too big. Or even big at all.
I don't want you to pay me at all either.
I don't like it. It's just so much respect. Like my internet was fucking up today, and it's like, oh, I know there's no post on the site because Sean's certainly not doing any fucking work.
Of course not.
Sure enough, there wasn't anything up for like 2 hours, and it's like sometimes I'm just tired of this shit. I just don't want to deal with it.
Thank God for the fan posts, man.
I know, right?
Right?
Like Eddie Mack. Shout out to Eddie Mack and Bacon Strips and fucking all you guys out there. Wellington's Wellington.
I just like saying that out loud.
That's the best fucking thing.
And Stan Stansky, thank you, all of you guys.
Oh, man.
Rutherford P.S. Hayes.
And I'm disappointed, though, because Asterisk, I know you're in the thread. I know you're listening. You said you'd call in, and then you fucking pussed out.
Because you're a chicken.
Don't be scared.
You called in. None of you, we're giving you the floor.
You're all a bunch of pussies. That's what you all are.
Pipe
Pussies.
bomb. Where's everybody? You miss CM Punk so fucking bad. Get on here and drop a pipe bomb. Like, you have the ability. We have the technology. Get your little cell phone out, punch the fucking numbers in, and get in here and say something worth listening to.
Okay, call in, because CM Punk is a pussy. Fuck CM Punk. Come at me.
What up, Marks? What up?
I'm just gonna start baiting your readers, and I'm just gonna call them pussies the entire time.
They wouldn't. I mean, last week when I badmouthed Ziggler, a bunch of people came at me later, but they don't want to step up when it's live. It's not called Cageside later, bitches.
Did they really come after you?
A couple people.
Asterisk says he tried calling in. What? That's try again.
Yeah, dude. Maybe you have to put 1 before the number. I don't know, man.
Yeah, try
a lot. The phone lines are blowing up. The switchboard might have melted.
Oh, that's the problem.
That might be what happened.
Yeah. We're actually dealing with Matt Hardy on the line. I'm sorry, everybody.
Uh-oh. I heard something made a noise.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we couldn't add you. Try again.
Try again, Asterisk. And he's the most controversial commenter on the site.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Don't succeed. Don't call anybody anything that rhymes with... I'm not going to do that. Again, I can't come up with it.
Yeah, so here's the only thing. Don't say anything homophobic and we're cool.
Yeah, don't call anyone a cunt. Yeah, don't call anyone gay.
Don't say... So here's the rules. Don't say cunt or the F word that's not fuck. Anything else is cool.
Don't say retard. Retard's not good either.
No, Sean, don't be retarded.
Be tolerant. God damn it, Rob.
All right, so while we're waiting for Asterix to figure out how to use the phone,
Pipe bomb.
Lita's going to the Hall of Fame. She's joining her ex-lover Trish Stratus.
Stop reading my fanfic,
dude. Wait. Do you post on WWEFA.com?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's wrestling erotica. Everybody, you better start reading it.
Who's inducted?
I think Cageside seats sort of doubles as that. We just use different names over there. There's a lot of.
That's basically.
I won't call anybody out, but
No, but Lita's going to the Hall of Fame. I'm hoping that Heath Slater inducts her.
Heath Slater? Why Heath Slater?
Dude, because he put her over last year.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
It's gonna be Stephanie, I'm sure, but it'd be nice if it was Matt Hardy.
That'd be amazing.
I think it should be Matt and Edge. And they should stand up there together.
No, I just say all of her ex-boyfriends. So
people are like, what if it's AJ? Like, wouldn't that be uncomfortable? Like, they're adults, guys. Like, this isn't junior high. Like, ooh, AJ met her and like it was her hero, but like she's dating Punk now, and Lita dated Punk before. Ooh, I wonder what's gonna happen.
What if it's Punk? What if the whole thing was a work? What if the whole thing was a work just for Punk to come back to induct Lita into the Hall of Fame?
What if Lita shows up?
Ever?
What if Punk shows up and Lita shows up, and then Punk and Lita and AJ get together and all go fuck after the ceremony's over?
That's happening. That's a shoot.
Yeah, he's shooting. He's definitely shooting.
Look, man.
Do you think that CM Punk and Edge like compared notes when they were dating Beth Phoenix and Lita?
Hey, Beth's a mother now. Be nice.
No, dude, is she a mother?
Yeah, she had Edge's kid.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
Future Divas champion.
Yeah, we're having problems adding callers. Everybody. Oh, somebody's here. Apparently, we added a caller. Are they here? Are you here? Are you on the line?
Yo, speaker, I'm going to hang up on you, and I'm just going to say that you're a pussy.
There's 6 people on this call.
Promo time. Pipe bomb.
It's like a old-fashioned party line.
They're gone.
Oh, jeez.
You know why? Because you're scared.
We just cut to you in the ring with the mic, and you basically dropped it and ran.
And you froze.
You fell down onto the mat and started to cry. Curled up in a little ball.
What's funny is that it's more like they started talking and the microphone wasn't working.
Right.
That's what it's more like.
I didn't know that the Shockmaster was going to be calling it. That's wild.
Oh, that's so good. We're sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody.
What else are we supposed to talk about?
Our producer's telling us we'll have to try again next week.
All right, so I guess we've gone through the rundown and the thread. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, which is the Daniel Bryan. Are we just, whatever? Fuck it, whatever. Show's over, everybody. It's game over. Whatever. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Oh my God, the Daniel Bryan.
Fuck it. Show's over. Thank you for another episode of Cageside.
The number to dial into is a 410 number. Is that like you guys giving out my home number? What's maybe that's the problem. Oh, let's see. Let's see what's going on in the comments. Matt, you'll do anything if you get paid for it. Apparently.
See, here's the thing. I'm actually not getting paid for this. I don't work for Cageside Seats. I'm literally an intern.
This is not. I don't pay anybody actually. I keep the money all to myself.
Keith points out that Michelle Beadle does say that WWE is junior high, so that's probably why people are worried about the whole AJ bumping into Lita backstage thing.
Well, Beadle was fucking Punk at one time too, so that's.
Well, apparently she wasn't an adult about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jolie says if Sergio was here, the phones would work.
Oh, man.
Burn.
Here's the thing. We can't pipe bomb him. So I mean, that's
that's all right.
Oh man, no way.
Thanks a lot, Jolene, for making.
You just killed the entire. I feel sad now. Let's end it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Benoit.
Send it out. Oh no, this got out of hand fast.
All right, so
that was the exact thing we were not supposed to say last week.
That was the worst thing that ever just happened right there.
So here's the thing: am I allowed? Is this the WWE and I can't mention Benoit?
You can mention him.
Cool, because Benoit. That's it. That's all I have.
Because Benoit. That's your reason.
He was a great wrestler.
He was a great wrestler and even better father.
All right, let's get Geno pissed at something so he can take us out. Oh, well, I guess you just did it there, Roth. Good job.
That's just Erica. Just play it. Just play the close. Get us out now, please. Hurry. I'm serious. Go.
Now I'm a husband too. Just go.
Are we still on the air?
Just go. I didn't know this would